Alright boys, with about only 1 week left for the collab, I thought why not make a tier list video. I also don't want to record really, no one really cares about PvP right now. Hawk and Oslo aren't really, you know, the most exciting units. I tried with my Haram video, I think it went well. Like the people that watch it found it funny, which is good enough. But yeah, I thought why not make a tier list, why not talk about how I feel about the units. The tiers I feel like is irrelevant, right? I more so just want to talk about the units and how I feel about them. And if you have like dupes left over, you have like 17 COUNTER.EXE dupes, which by the way, that's the guy you don't want dupes on. You can like feed them into other characters. Maybe you want to know, oh, which one should I pick? Oh, wow. And also if you're like, oh my god, people don't think this character is good, but I like this character, I'm here for you. I'll hype up your character. I love all four of these except COUNTER.EXE. So Cusack's your favorite character. I really like him. Like in the show, I think he's cool. I like the, you know, these the true warrior spirit type of guys. I like the lizard arc as well. But anyway, let's talk about these units, okay? So first of all, let's start with Eins. Let's leave Eins for last. Let's start with COUNTER.EXE. He's a PvE character that gets outshined by most other characters, even in PvE. Even if for characters that aren't even PvE specific, he just gets outshined. So that's kind of an L. He also doesn't work in Demonic Beast because the Marble is just really intelligent, so that's kind of an L for him as well. And we have a final boss now, so we got to try him out there, and then he's not good on that either. So I have not tried him on Belmoth, but I think Davo told me that he wasn't cooking, so I'll trust him. And yeah, COUNTER.EXE, I mean, I don't know, like a PvE unit, like I like if they make the free unit like a PvE unit, but make it good. If you're gonna restrict it so much, like it can't be used in the Demonic Beast battle, then at least make it really good, okay? Make it at least really good. Make it so like I run it in Belmoth and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like I'm not gonna run Zarathustra or Alaskon anymore. I'm gonna run this guy, you know? Make him that good at least, alright? Which is that's not like a big thing. That's not even like a big thing. It wouldn't even make a difference, right? Make him be like, oh yeah, he's pretty good in final boss. Not for like, he's not the best, but like he can farm it really quickly. You know that? There you go. That's perfect. Farm it really quickly. I don't know. It's just like I don't know what they like really wanted with him. It's sad. I mean, I would have loved for him to be a good character. But it is what it is. I wish he was like support more so than just like. Well, he is sort of. I don't know. He's just kind of a failure. I can't lie. No point. I mean, we can look at him real quick, right? He has a detonate card and he has an amplify card. His ultimate is Assault Meli ultimate, which you know is cool. And this is like that's pretty cool, right? And then like this is pretty cool, but like you have to have a debuff, else it doesn't do anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's like all deep. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Oh my Chrome lagged out again. There you go. And yeah, overall, I'm just not the biggest fan of this guy, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to put him in D tier. If you have him, I'm sorry. Well, if you have him, he's free. But if you pull dupes of him, I'm sorry. Maybe you can you have enough dupes to feed him into other different characters, so that'd be cool. Now let's talk about Shaler. Now Shaler is a really unfortunate character. Okay, if she didn't come out now, if she came out in the future, she would have been a lot better. Okay, because and I don't know why Grand Cross database is lagging out my computer like horrendous right now. But anyway, Shaler has this issue where she's really strong. And when she has her frenzy up, she's like one of the most impressive units in the entire game. Okay? And if the enemy team doesn't have infect, she's even more impressive because the amount of healing she does with this is insane. Absolutely insane. The amount of healing she does, okay? But the issue is that right now in this current PvP meta, you can't use her in PvE because Netmarble is really bad at making games, so you can't bleed bosses or like poison them or shock them because that would ruin PvE or something. I don't know. So you can't use her in PvE really. Like you can sort of, but she's not gonna be like you're gonna have better options on your account most likely. And you could use her just for healing, right? Like she'll still do decent damage, but like the entire damage is in this card, and it only does double damage and double crit if they're bleeding. But the issue in the current meta is right now is that it's mainly ult rush and it's a bunch of like Albedo stands into like someone's ultimate, right? And what are they doing when they do that? They're not playing the game. They're not interacting with you, okay? And that's really bad for her because she wants enemies to play the game, right? Once we actually get, like, if you've played a game with her, right? If you've been trying her out every now and then, and you use Tyr and Freyr with her, and NANASHI backline, and you have all the holy relics, she will do so much damage you don't even need the frenzy, okay? But you, for type disadvantage and like tank units, you still do. But she's so strong even without the frenzy. As long as they're bleeding, right? It's fine. And it's just that like right now, no one attacks. And the issue with frenzy is you can't get it during a turn, right? And it's not exactly like Purgatory Meli's like true magic. The way frenzy works is you have to have these 3 buffs at the start of your turn, right? So you can get like 1 or 2 on your turn, and then they have to attack at least once. But they don't do that because everyone's just moving cards and not playing the game right now, right? So that's the issue. That's why she's not like the best right now. That's why she doesn't look that impressive for a lot of people. It's hard to make her work in the current PvP meta. But I feel like in the future, if the PvP meta changes and we go back to actually attacking our opponent, she'll be a lot better. Okay, she's an unknown character, so she'll have all the basic sets in the world. She'll be able to survive a bunch of characters. They still have Tyr, who's going to be taunting and everything. She'll be fine. Okay, and her damage will be so impressive, and like forever will be. Especially if we get like an unknown like cleanser or something. That like attacks and with the attack cleanses or something. I don't know, it's the holy relic or something. I don't know how they'll do it, but that would be so good because then she could just like, even if they infect you, just full heal you every turn by attacking a bleeding enemy. Like it's insane how much you'll get, like 1.2 million healing if she has a single target. It's crazy. She has so much damage too. It's just right now the meta's not good. And the only like one way they could sort of fix her is if you could have frenzy in the middle of the turn. But the advantage from frenzy over true magic it's 1 attack and then you go back to like your other stuff. For her it's for 1 whole turn. So you can get 3 attacks off with that 50% attack rate stats buff, and that's really big. But you can't get the frenzy consistently, so that's why she's not that good right now. It's like a downside too, because then you have the defense rated down on the enemy turn, obviously. But like for the most part, if you get the frenzy, most of the time, unless you have really bad cards and you get an unfortunate moment, you don't really like get to like the enemy doesn't get to live if you actually have cards. So frenzy will just kill that turn. You wouldn't need a match. The other issue is what was I gonna say with frenzy. No issue. Like a good thing about frenzy is that once you have it once, you can gain the HP stacks while you have frenzy. So you can like, let's say it's your turn. You do an AoE and a single target, okay? While you have frenzy, you already have 2 stacks. So if they try and hit you once next turn, right, you will have it again on your turn. It'll refresh the frenzy buff. So you'll have it again. It's really like you can recycle it a lot, and she'll just constantly be strong. And the defense related down, honestly, I generally don't feel it when I use it, but I come from a bit more of a privileged standpoint with my whale count. But overall, I feel like this character will just be much better in the future. Like right now, I will agree with the masses and say she's not cooking. She's very inconsistent, but I feel like she can be very consistent and very good once we go back to playing the game and interacting with our opponents, right? So I feel like she's really good. The tiers don't really matter. Like super broken, inconsistent, bad, right? And then we just delete this row real quick, right? Oh, cringe, I have to get them out again. Yeah, let's talk about Eins now, okay? Because I want to save Albedo for last. Eins is gonna be here. And I'll tell you what the tier is gonna be. You'll probably be able to guess, or you'll probably already know. The thing with Eins is his when he has like the Infinity Merlin thing, the Bond thing, the Esterosa thing. Well, actually not Esterosa, but like Infinity Merlin and Bond thing, where when he or his allies attack, they apply a death brand, okay, which decreases the damage dealt on all target ultimate move final damage in PvP. Final damage, keyword, okay. The way this damage destruction works is so much better than like regular damage destruction, I swear. It's because the thing is with this guy, I would say that's really good, but you need him 6/6, okay? The difference between getting 2% per and 7% per is insane. Imagine you have 5 on, okay, imagine you have 6, okay? That's 12% on this, and it's 42% if you have this damage destruction, right? It's so much. Well, it's not like, obviously, you'll have like 3 on 1, right? So it's like 7, it's like 21% over 6%. Like, it's so much more. It's so much more damage destruction, and most people won't have a 6/6 Eins, and it's not like a character that will return, right? We'll maybe get an Overlord rerun, hopefully, and we get like Sebas and I don't know, there's a bunch of characters we could get, like Sebas and like Pandora's Box. Oh, that'd be sick. Anyway, but like that's his thing, right? Like he does this, right? He reduces their damage dealt, and then he also lowers their attack rate stats. And then you pair him with like Hell, who when they attack, they lose HP and they don't want to attack now, right? But if they do, they don't do that much damage, so they have to use multiple cards to actually do damage. It's a really strong combo. And you pair him up with like Albedo, who is in a damage reduction, and boom, you've got an invincible team, right? A really annoying team to face. And the thing is, if you face these like super invincible units, right? Unknown doesn't really run Infect now. But what they have now with this guy is Verdict, which does a bunch of damage to each Death Brand, and it actually does do decent damage. His crit chance is pathetic. Obviously that's not his in-game crit. This is like without outfits and everything, and like constellation. Like, this is like nowhere near what it is in game. But he needs like 150 crit rate. If you want, you need like 150 crit rate nowadays if you want to have a decent chance to crit, okay? Because characters have this guy's 70% crit chance and 80% crit resistance based, okay? He can't crit himself. He can't. He literally cannot crit himself. Okay, for the very few that maybe don't know, crit chance has to get past crit resistance, gets reduced by crit resistance, and then you get your crit chance. So if you have 50% crit chance and they have 100% crit resistance, you can't crit. If you have 150% crit chance and they have 100% crit resistance, you have a 50% chance to crit. This is why you need such high crit chance to actually crit now. And he doesn't crit, so this card doesn't do that much damage because he doesn't have any like other damage increases, right? And like crit is like the biggest damage increase you can get in Grand Cross because crit damage is so high, even though like crit defense is pretty like high usually from a bunch of units, but it's not high enough. So this guy needs it, but he can't get it, okay? And what he does have though is a lot of times, and this happens a lot more than I thought it would, when they have 4 stacks of Death Brand, which you can get in 2 turns, obviously, on the second turn already, if you attack them with a single target, they get a death sentence. And if they have 1 more turn to live, and if they don't kill Eins, they die. And that actually has come up a lot more often than I thought. Initially, when I like looked at Eins, I was like, it's like a cute gimmick, but like this card should kill. It doesn't. And I was like, they probably just kill him. But because of the damage structure and everything, and the attack lower, they don't actually like kill you. And then you probably have an Albedo stance up, right? And then it's like, okay, well, what do they do now? They can't kill you, they just lose the unit, right? You can attack like the tankiest unit in the game, they'll just die. So that's big. But I feel like you do need him 6-6. I feel like 6-6, 5-6 is fine, I guess, right? You still get 5%. But like the 2 and 3, that's just so pathetic. Like, it's just so pathetic. It should have been like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Then I would have been like, okay, sure, but why is that 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7? Right? Imagine you're here and it'd be 4% already. It'd be like, okay, if you have 3-6, you'll feel the damage reduction maybe slightly. But yeah, it's horrible. And obviously it's ultimate. I don't really care about actually using it. It's more so about the ultimate passive, right? The one ultimate effect. But that's really it. So I'm gonna put him at 6-6. He's really good. Right, at 6-6, he's probably like on the same. He's on the same tier as like Shal tier is right now, but like probably better. Right, I'll put him actually like here. But I wouldn't. But right now, like you need him 6-6. I'll put him here, I guess. Right, I'll put him 6-6. And then next up we have Albedo, who I didn't drag up yet. Albedo is very good. Obviously, people know that she's very broken. She's not nearly as broken as people think. Like not even like nowhere near close. Like a lot of times, when you don't get your when they don't attack into your stance and you get mini buffs, their stance like the count doesn't do much damage. So they can play around it. And also, if you rush your ultimate and you get Albedo ultimate and you have her stance up, right, which you want because it gives you more basic stats and she has Quell, so you want more like stance anything on her, right? Like what is it called for her? But yeah, anyway, you want her stance up, right? It's just more damage, right? She gets she gets Quell, she gets more damage for her stance, and then she gets 20% basic stats when she stands up as well. So unless you're like trying to like only ult for buffs, you probably want to stance up first. And the thing is, up until she gets like 3 or 4 buffs, she doesn't really do that much damage. And again, if you attack her and she has her ultimate, which a lot of people do, they just do Albedo ult rush. If you have NANASHI, you attack her with the unit that has a NANASHI buff, and she loses ult gauge because she's forced to counter, right? That's like an interesting counterplay for her. But overall, she's really broken. In PvE, she's a god, like actually just a god. She shits on every single demonic beast battle. She shits on Deer so hard that it freezes it. And yes, you can use her for Deer. You can make her work in Deer. You'll just have to play slightly differently, but you can use her in Deer and she can work. I don't know if they fixed the freeze glitch. I hope they did. Else I'll be very sad. But yeah, Albedo's super broken. She gets damage reduction. She gets stats. If she doesn't get hit, she gives the enemies damage dealt up. When her stands run out, she gives everyone attack related stats. She gets basic stats. Her ultimate one shots. Her single target card is kind of bad, but it's okay, right? It loses their damage dealt, so it's kind of okay in that sense. But it's not really special. I wouldn't really care about it. Together with Irons, it's big because you do so much damage reduction at that point that it's like you can really just be like invincible and rush ultimate for free, and then apply death sentence, kill them, boom. But she's really good. I feel like she's a character that will age for like at least like I don't know what they have planned, obviously, in content wise, but like I don't see her ever like within the next 2 years. I think she's still gonna be really good. She's gonna fall out of PvP meta because people are gonna like teams are gonna be better at playing around the stance, right, and not having to attack and everything, or being able to just kill her flat out because we're gonna get more broken units and like, you know, soon. Especially when like Ella Escanor gets like back on the meta again, then she'll get cooked bad. But because you can remove her buffs, remove her damage reduction that way, and then he single targets, she's dead. But I feel like for PvE, she's gonna be so good for forever, pretty much. Like she's just gonna be a PvE queen, right? Even when like PvE gets really hard and like she might fall slightly, you can probably still like do like some sort of cheese with like a bunch of buffs on her, and then just like kill the boss. Unless they implement like some stance immunity, which is like Sora did with like counter Meli. But overall, this character is insane, right? This character is absolutely insane. And yeah, that's gonna be for the video, boys. She's the best. Dupes wise though, I would prioritize Irons over Albedo over Shaler. And then I would go, yeah, it depends really. I mean, I would try and focus on the Irons, but like Albedo's ultimate is really important too. So if you can balance the two, that's good. Like if you have the option to balance the two, that'd be good. If you could only focus on one, I don't know who I'd pick. I would pick, I don't know. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me, boys. Good show.